Fantasy Football Talk. We're back again. You know what it is. It's Brian. It's Jay. What's going on, bro?
What's going on is it's R&J baseball talk because
No,
the
it's
Red
not.
Sox are in the ALCS. Y'all better be ready.
Oh,
I got
gosh.
my gear. I'm ready to do it. But,
Are we really?
football is cool too. But whatever.
Football is cool, too.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
I like footballs. I play some. Hey, I won some games this week. I went 6-2, so I've had my
Look at
by
you.
far best week of the NFL season 2021.
Look
How'd you
at
do,
you.
bro?
I did four. I went 4-2.
Okay,
I'm doing pretty good this year, man. I mean, I'm losing some close ones. I got trashed this weekend by in one league, but
right.
it's all good though. You know, you take those lumps sometimes. But I'm look, I'm balling, man. In one league, I'm 5-0. I'm 3-2 and one. I'm 4. Look, man. RJ doing some stuff this year, man. You better believe it, man. It's making up for what we didn't do last year.
Yeah, yeah. I'm stretching the whole gambit. I'm undefeated in one league, in first place, and scoring a heck of a lot of points. And
Yeah.
I'm in 12th place out of a 16 team league in another joint. So I'm stretching the whole joint, but it's all right. It's gonna end up all right eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
bye
definitely.
week's time happening next week, so that's gonna be
Man.
what separates the pretenders from the contenders. So
Oh yeah,
Woo, bye
definitely.
weeks.
yeah.
Woo.
So somebody is not a fan of bye weeks
Oh
in
yeah, you
this
got them.
household,
Yeah,
but
you got them bad weeks tough, man, because you got to make decisions, man. You got to
yeah,
grab players that you typically don't use, and hope for the best and hope you can get some wins. So it's real. So definitely. But it's been a good week though, man.
oh yeah,
Definitely been a good week, man. I ain't complaining, man. I'll take this 4-2 every week, man, if I can. I know one league, I'm just not going. It's going to be hard for me to win it there because
right.
I won't prepare for that league. But other than that, the other ones, I'm looking at chips this year. I'm trying to get some chips, man. Definitely trying to take it up to. I'm trying to get at least 3 or 4, bring it up to 10 or 11 chips that I got total. You know, make the resume look good.
Yeah, yeah. So since it's actually not RJ baseball talk, let me go back to our normal setup.
Yes, please do.
And oh wait. Before we start talking impact players and such, how about we let everybody know that I am on top of the world because I am again in the overall number one spot. Was in a tie last week with our lovely producer. But I stretched out 2 games ahead, so I got a little bit of a lead. You're still in the game. You also hit 11 games called correctly this week, so everybody's doing well. And of course, we still in our group. There's still his name is Swami Says. He's the one who's leading the pack. I think he's like got 72% of his games correctly. So
Yeah.
it's cool, but we can catch him. We can catch him.
Yeah, we catching them. I told you I started slow, but I normally catch my pace,
Right,
in
right.
the season. So, but I'm getting up there though.
All right.
I've been doing good the last couple of weeks though.
Yeah. All right. Before we jump into impact players from week 5, I see a question. Welcome James Zoo to the show. Also, welcome Olena Lewis. Question is trade Godwin, Debo, Emmanuel Samuel, and not Dawson Knox for Tyreek Hill? No.
No,
No.
no,
No.
that's too much.
Yeah, that's giving up
That's
a lot.
giving up a
So
lot. Lord have mercy.
yeah, that's giving up a lot. I might be convinced to say because that's 4 players. Uh,
That's that's three good players.
yeah. Well,
And
Debo
not
Samuel's just a bad player.
no. Sanders.
I
Emmanuel
mean,
Sanders is.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh Lord, come on now. Emmanuel Sanders is the one
Yeah, yeah.
that the least out of the four. Knox is
How
balling.
would you do this one? Because Tariq Hill has unfortunately been taking a lot of my favorite tight ends shine the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah,
I get one in Tyreek Hill, but I wouldn't pay too much for him because hey, in the drop of a hat, it could switch the other way. But I would go for Hill, but I would give up maybe. I would try to see if I could package, depending on your team's position, James. Maybe Dawson, Knox, and Godwin, or
Yeah.
something like that, and then I feel a bit more
I would do
comfortable.
Godwin. I would do Godwin, Knox for Hill
Yeah,
that way.
I think
I
that's more
mean,
than fair.
Emmanuel Sanders is a throw in, honestly,
Yeah, I mean,
but
if you want to throw in Emmanuel Sanders, why not?
he's a throw in. But Godwin and definitely Knox is.
Yeah,
If you struggle in that tight end, Knox is the way to go
yeah,
because he's third.
yeah.
He's the third receiver on that team. So
So yeah,
definitely.
so see if that person needs a tight end, then I definitely throw in Knox, and then maybe one or, but I don't give up all four players for Tyreek Hill.
Nah, that's too much.
Yeah, but good
I was
question.
definitely.
Thank you, James, and welcome Justin to the show. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
We glad you could join us. You ready for some impact players?
Let's go.
All right, you can start us off.
First, I'm gonna start off, but a public apology to this guy. I be bashing this guy, man. I do.
Lamar
But
Jackson, yeah.
this is second week in a row, man. This guy has really did some numbers. Um, no, I'm just saying, Lamar Jackson.
Exactly. You know,
Lamar Jackson. He's actually was 90%, 37 to 43, 442, 4 touchdowns. I mean, that comeback
broke the
was amazing.
franchise record, by the way. The guy
Yeah,
that
I
you
mean,
said is not a quarterback, but that's cool.
he had a total of 502 yards. He did. I mean,
He
he
did
balled out. I
work.
ain't gonna lie, man. He did some work. That comeback was amazing.
I think
So
I should right now I'm kicking myself because we did our bold predictions at the beginning of the year, and I said I'm feeling Lamar Jackson this year, and not the way they talked about how they're going to rework the offense. I said if that works, he's going to be dangerous. I should have made.
oh yeah.
I'm feeling right now. I should have made that one of my bold predictions, but I'm just
I
happy the
mean,
fact that I like Lamar Jackson more than you, and so
I mean, and then we're gonna the next on the list, Tom Brady. You know, he's always on this list.
Tom Brady's
30 or
great.
41,
Yeah.
411, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he had 300 yards at halftime. I mean, geez. So Carson Wentz made the list. This should make your mom proud.
Right.
25 or 35, 402, 2 touchdowns. Carson Wentz and Lamar Jackson both had really good games.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good game. Justin Herbert, he's just constantly on this list. 26, 30, or 43, 398, 4 touchdowns. Probably the best team in the league right now. Matthew Stafford, 25 to 37, 365 and a touchdown. Josh Allen, playing like Josh Allen, like he been on the street, man. 15 to 26,
Yeah.
315, 3 touchdowns. And I want to give this last one, I want to give this guy a shout out because he played like crap the week before that. He literally had like 60 yards throughout the whole game. David Mills.
Davis Mills.
21 to 29, 312, 3 touchdowns, in a losing cause, but tough
I don't
game.
like Davis Mills this week for two reasons. One is because I used the Patriots defense because like Belichick always makes rookie quarterbacks look bad, and
Yeah.
he did not look bad at all. And secondly, it's going to come up later when we talk wide receivers because he messed up my man Brandon Cooks, and we
Oh
are
my
not
gosh,
happy about
yes, he
that
did.
at all.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for him.
Yes.
I throw 90 on the opposite side, someone, and I have to apologize to myself because I said that Sam Darnold might actually have a better fantasy football production with CMC out because they're gonna need him to throw the ball a lot, and he was terrible. I wish for it. CMC did not play, and now I said, man, I wish CMC was there. So Sam Darnold only had 177 yards, 3 interceptions. Terrible day for Sam Darnold. But
Yeah.
before we do running backs, let's hit some of these questions before it gets too full over here. Starting at the top, Justin says he has to start 3. Hollywood, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, and Scary Terry. Three players in his PPR.
Hollywood.
Hollywood
I'm
is a
going
must right now. Right.
Hollywood, I'm going Jamar, and I'm going Scary Terry.
Agreed.
Gotta leave Mike Evans off. Mike Evans good, but you gotta
Mike
leave him
Evans
off.
is good, but the guy who's dead to me is messing
He's
up the
doing
flow.
work out there. Yeah, he's
He's
killing
doing
his.
work. So right now, it's just so many good receivers on
Yeah,
that Tampa Bay squad. Yeah, I'm going to go with the other because Jamar Chase, is going to put in work. Hollywood is looking like a bona fide wide receiver all star,
yes,
surprising a lot of people. And
yes, he
Scary
is.
Terry is always a start for me. So
Yeah, definitely. He's a must start always.
Justin Austin says he picked up Darrell Williams and AJ Dillon and dropped Gainwell and Tyson Williams. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm not mad at that at all because, and this is just the background that I happen to know. He's using AJ Dillon sort of as an insurance for Aaron Jones, which is cool. Darrell Williams is going to put in some work for at least the time being. Tyson Williams, for me, no.
No,
So I like
got,
he could get dropped in a second.
yeah,
And
they got too many
Gainwell,
backs.
though Gainwell was not great this past week, and I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I think Gainwell has some solid potential as the season goes on. Let's hit one more, and then we'll do some running backs. Then we'll come back to the questions. This isn't so much a question as for you. 49ers were close to winning, Rodney. I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that one. All right, let's hit running backs, and then we'll come back to some more of these questions.
Nick Chubb, 21 carries, 161, a touchdown. Man, James Robinson has been balling, baby. I tell you, James
It's
Robinson.
Amazing what happens when you give a running back the ball.
Yes.
Right.
18 carries, 149, and a touchdown. I mean, Derrick Henry stays on this list.
You should have started with King Henry.
29,
right.
130, 3 touchdowns. And the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Nigel Harris.
You apologize to Lamar, and I have a somewhat apology for Nigel Harris. And another surprise because I was like the Denver Broncos defense. But I did say in the 40-second play clock that Nigel Harris was going to have a good game. But I thought he was going to have a good game receiving. He was a running back. He only had 20 receiving yards this past week.
That's what he got drafted for, to play running back, right?
And this is the first game he's done it. So congratulations to him.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
23 carries, 122, a touchdown. And I want to halfway apologize to this guy, Alexander Madison, for the second of 3 weeks, he has came through and played big. He had a receiving touchdown, but he had 25 carries for 113 yards. Zeke is back.
Yeah.
Zeke is back all the way. 21 carries, 110 yards, total of 2 touchdowns. He had 1 catch and 1 receiving. So that's it. Like that.
It looked like Tony Pollard was going to really contend for touches. The last couple of weeks, it's like, nah. It's like, nah, I got this. Don't worry about it. Sit down.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to, you talked about Carson Wentz giving some Colts some love. I'm going to give Jonathan Taylor love because he came alive finally.
Yes,
53 yards rushing, and he was the receiver this time with 116 receiving yards, put in 2 touchdowns total. I'm going to go, we said abandon ship on Myles Gaskin. Apparently.
We were wrong about that, weren't we?
I'm still going to say I'm not wrong on it, but we were wrong last week.
But we
were wrong last week. But here's the crazy part. 10 targets and 10 receptions. So he was also over 74 yards receiving, 2 receiving touchdowns. He only had 25 yards running the ball. So,
but does he hold that? Does he hold that value?
I don't have.
With Tua,
hey, if I have Myles Gaskins, I'm still on the abandoned ship part. But what I'm trying to do is trade him to somebody, hoping that they believe in it. Because I'm not buying it long term. We'll see how it goes. But
I mean, is that because of the Tua thing? Because Tua's coming back.
Yeah, Tua's coming back. I guess maybe I wait, but I'm just trying to trade him. No, I'm not. I'm not waiting. I'm trading him because Myles Gaskins has been one of the biggest disappointments for me. So now I'm trading him if I can get something for him, and I'm gonna be happy with whatever I get back in return. But hey, he killed it this week, so congratulations to him. Let's hit some. Before we hit some wide receivers, on the opposite end on running backs, I'm going with Miles Sanders and the guy I mentioned before, Gainwell. Both of them were abysmal, and
man, I tell you,
I think Is that an Eagles coaching problem?
I think
Is
it
it a
is.
Jalen Hurts problem? What
Well,
is it?
Jalen Hurts he's a dual threat to run,
Right.
but I think Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. He would think pass before he thinks run. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's the one that's going to take off automatically if he doesn't see anything. He'll at least give it a chance for somebody to get open. I think it's more of it could be coaching because they don't get him involved.
Right.
And it's been a lot of bad coaching, but it's definitely something to where they can work. Because Miles Sanders has really been good. He's been a good running back. It's just they don't get him involved, and that's called game planning. If they don't game plan to get him involved, then obviously he's not gonna get touches like that. So
right.
honestly, if he go, I don't see him getting traded. But they saying Gainwell was supposed to be that guy to kind of contest
Right.
for carries, which. It seemed like to me they splitting carries down the middle, personally.
Yeah.
But
They're doing a
that's what it
lot.
looks
They're
like.
doing a much more even timeshare than I think. And then when you add in the fact that Jalen Hurts is much like we say about the Josh Allens and the Lamar Jacksons, they're a threat to the running backs on that squad. Are you going to recommend people start Miles Sanders tomorrow or Gainwell? You're not feeling either one of them.
I mean, the only person
against that Bucks team, right?
Yeah, the only person that if you have being as a bye week, and if you have to start him, is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts because that defense, that Tampa defense is really good.
Yeah.
Man. So they stopped the run fairly well. So I don't see them really doing anything in the running game. So Hurts is one you would start. So other than that,
that's it.
That's it for me. So
I'm not mad at that. Let's hit some more of these questions before we go wide receivers, tight ends. You have to start two. This is PPR. You got Jamar Chase, the guy who's dead to me, and Josh Jacobs.
I'm starting AB and Jamar Chase.
I'm going to just say I'm not starting Josh Jacobs, and I'm not going to say the other guy's name. I refuse to recommend anyone start him, even though that's the right decision. But I just say don't start Josh Jacobs out of that list. That's good enough.
Yeah, you go AB.
Yeah, you start Jamar Chase and you don't start Josh Jacobs. There you go.
Yeah,
that's good. Need to brace does that. Lamar Jackson did his thing. That's with an A. And it's gonna go down as a classic. Yo, Lamar is killing it. They lost their streak of 100-yard rushing games, but
that don't matter.
Who cares?
Yeah, they don't care about that. So.
All right. It's the Jalen Hurts show, and yeah, that's pretty much all it is. We'll see how good that show is tomorrow night.
Yeah. Exactly.
Question for you: Melvin Gordon, OBJ, T.J. Hawkinson, and Knox. You got to start two.
I'm doing the two tight ends.
I'm
going two tight.
You're doing Knox
Hawkinson and Knox.
Hawkinson's had to do a lot of blocking the last few weeks, and so you're seeing his receiving numbers go down a lot. But they're supposedly going to get a wide receiver back, and that should hopefully open it out. Because we're really big on Hawkinson, and if he has to block, then it takes away what we love about him. I start him this week. Here's the thing. I'm trying to think what I think about OBJ. They let their tight end do some work this week.
See, but OBJ did nothing.
Yeah, he did that first game back, but you know.
I mean, it's a bad week. So the thing about this, you're gonna have to play some people that you really don't want to play. So OBJ is somebody that you might have to play, but being that he got these options, Melvin Gordon, they split him down the middle, 50-50, too much.
But I think it's worth noting. Who does Denver play this week?
Man, it don't matter.
It matters in the fact that the Raiders cannot stop the run.
It still don't matter because they are actually splitting care. If I'm gonna do anything, Knox, he gonna get his.
Knox, I'm starting. Knox is just so hot right now. I'm putting him in my lineup. In fact, in one league, I actually bench Hawkinson for Knox because.
But
what Knox is doing right now. So you have to start two of them. Knox is a definite start. I'm trying to think if you have faith that Hawkinson's going to go back to being the receiver tight end instead of the blocking tight end, it's cool. But I want to side with Melvin Gordon only because I think Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon are gonna eat. The Raiders are a disaster. I might not even pick them this week. I haven't decided yet.
What?
But
Wow. Okay. Then.
yeah,
All
they're
right.
they're, they're a
Yeah.
mess.
All right
And
now. Let's go. Okay.
so we'll see. I know by tomorrow when we film the 40-second play clock.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say
I say T.J.
I
Hawkinson and
also
Knox.
yeah. I'm not mad at
I,
I'm not mad at T.J. Hawkinson and Knox. I'll agree with you only because I like those two players better than I like Melvin Gordon. It's more so this week. I think Melvin Gordon has a good opportunity. The matchup is really nice.
I
But we'll
mean,
see.
honestly, T.J. Hawkinson has to be involved for them to be in the game.
I
Period.
don't know.
So
He ain't.
they
He
ain't
won,
winning. They ain't winning no
but they
games.
looked
I
pretty
mean, but
good last week. They didn't
I
win.
mean, but Knox been playing. Knox, you got to play. T.J. Hawkinson, you know when he's the guy, he's getting those catches.
Yeah.
He's getting those. He's gonna play, man. That's for me. But I'm not trusting OB, and I gotta play OBJ this week because I gotta fill in
Okay.
some bad weeks. So I get what he's saying. I get it.
Okay. Well, welcome Brad to the show. Brad Montgomery. He got A-Rob, Ruggs, or Schultz in second flex spot.
Ooh, that's
I'm
tough.
I'm not going A-Rob right now. And
No,
you know how I
please
feel
don't.
about Ruggs. I love
Yeah.
Ruggs for what he is for the offense, but I am staying away from. I'm staying away from. Well, the thing about Ruggs is he's streaky. He's gonna have good games and bad games. Right now, I'm riding the Dalton Schultz train because Schultz has been killing it right now.
Ooh, yeah, Schultz is probably
Schultz
what
has
I'm
been
going.
very reliable, more so than I
Yeah,
thought the tight ends would be. I don't know whether that changes when Michael Gallup gets back, but right now Schultz is the hot hand. I'm rolling with it.
yeah.
That's my
A-Rob, he just that. I mean, Fields is playing, but like he's not getting him involved. And Ruggs, that whole situation y'all got going over there is a hot mess.
It's a
So
hot minute. We're gonna talk. Hey, we're talking coaches behaving badly, so we're gonna have plenty of time for that.
yeah,
I see Justin and Brad are going back on whether the Raiders are winner this week. Justin says he has the Raiders winning. Uh, I don't know if I'm with you yet. I'm not. I don't know. Hey, how about them Red Sox though? I know because Justin's a Yankees fan, so there you go, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Let's hit these other questions, and then we'll hit some wide receivers and such. Where was I? Justin asked, is he winning this week? He had Stafford, Aaron Jones, James Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Schultz, the Bengals defense, Greg the leg, and he's playing against Mahomes, who needs to get his life together. Lenny, Melvin, Gordon. Where was
Yes,
I?
he's winning. He's winning.
Evans. Okay, Mike
lineup.
Evans, Sanders, Jacobs, Hunter, Henry, Bucks, and Butker. Yeah, I say you're winning on that one.
Yeah, he winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other question is he picked up Ayuk and dropped Bateman. Not mad at. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Well, I don't know. You might, because Ayuk stays in the doghouse, and he asks, do you hold? This is a lot of San Francisco stuff. Picked up Ayuk, dropped Bateman, and does he hold on to Sermon? What you got?
Man, I got so much to say about this situation, man. It's Lord.
Should we just reserve that till you start talking about everything that's wrong with your 49ers?
Yeah, we gonna get to
All
that.
right,
Yeah.
Brad, hey, thanks for the question. He says he hopes they turn it around. It's dirty how Gruden did it. You know what? I'm not even going to say it's dirty how Gruden did it because Gruden played this up. It's dirty, and this is here breaking news for you. It's not really breaking, but here's the hot take. The Washington football team are destroying the Raiders, and they're jealous because we beat them in 1984 in the Super Bowl. I'm going to come back to that later. It's all the Washington football team's fault.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But
Yeah.
let's go with this last question before we do wide receivers. Schultz, Ertz, or Higbee? You just got to start one for PPR.
I'm going Hurts.
Goddard's on the COVID list.
Yep.
So
He's not playing this week. So yeah, I'm going Hurts.
So I honestly want to say Schultz because he's, like I said before, I'm riding the hot hand, but I like Ertz in his matchup this week only because the opportunities are going to be there.
Yep. No Dallas Goddard.
Yeah, no doubt. Because my main thing with Goddard and Ertz is they both don't need to be on the team. and so they just take away from each other. So if there's only one, I like
And
that
they're
one.
gonna be playing.
And they're playing
They're gonna
against
be playing
Tampa
from
Bay.
behind. Yep, they're gonna be playing from behind.
Yeah.
So I like Ursa.
I'm not mad at that. Who you got for your impact wide receivers?
I got Devontae Adams, 11 receptions, 206 and a touchdown. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Doing it.
Kadarius Toney, 10 receptions, 189 and no touchdown.
And Mike one ejection for punching the guy.
Yeah, he got it. I don't understand that. That's so stupid.
Right.
Mike Williams has been balling out of control this year.
Who would have thought?
God, who would have thought, man? Lord.
Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. Of course, the obvious thing was to pick Mike Williams, apparently. So
I guess. 8 receptions, 165, 2 touchdowns. Right. Jamar Chase, the boy is bad. 6 receptions, 159, 1 touchdown. Robert Woods finally came alive.
Thank you. You're right.
12 receptions, 150 yards. Another one that came alive. Chase Claypool.
Yes.
We had a Chase Claypool sighting.
Mm-hmm.
5 for 130 and a touchdown. And Hollywood Brown, 9 receptions, 125 and a game-winning touchdown.
Can you please give some acknowledgement to the guy who's dead to me? Because you didn't say his name, and I refuse to.
I'm not doing it.
All right. Well, some guy that's dead to me had a good game, but whatever.
Okay, he did, but I only can I try to limit the people I put up here. I can go all day long with receivers, but
dead to me.
Yeah. I mean, we got a few tight ends, actually tight ends.
Mark Andrews saved my life in one of my leagues. I was already counting up the L because I was like, I lost this one. Came back and won by a point because of the Mark Andrews. Yeah, Mark Andrews. 147, 2 touchdowns.
Yes, Kyle Pitts finally showed up. He had 9, 119 and a touchdown. Dawson Knox, 3 for 117 and a touchdown. And
David Njoku.
That's who it is.
149 yards and a touchdown.
He did work. So, yes.
Do you have faith in him doing that again?
No, I think it's a one-off.
I think we might never see Njoku again the rest of the season because that's how it is. The thing with the Browns is they run like 3 tight ends on a regular basis, and it's like if you think the Philadelphia situation is bad with Ertz and Goddard, take it to that one. That one's even worse. So it's like I'm not playing. Yes. Hey, I'm fine with them scoring whatever they can on waiver wires because I can't deal with it. So
yeah. So I mean, he did numbers, but I think it's a one-off. I don't think it's going to do much. So I don't think. I'm not holding my breath anyway. Tell you that. So that's what I got for tight ends. Waiver wire wise, I got Darrell Williams, Kansas City.
Right.
He's owning 16% right now of Yahoo. Devontae Booker for the Giants. Saquon's hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
I picked him up too.
Can I stop you there? With Saquon's hurt again, are we reliving last year? Because I'm like, we saw CMC go out. We saw Saquon Barkley go out again. I was joking with our producer. They need to put Dak Prescott in bubble wrap right now because, all these serious injuries that we saw last year are back, plus some.
Well, they not. The thing is, Saquon, they showed he turned his ankle. That thing was nasty.
That was nasty.
They said 2 weeks he's out. CMC actually is coming back this week, which is good.
Yes, I welcome him back now.
These guys are definitely getting hurt. I don't know what it is with Saquon, though. Saquon is just – he's been getting hurt quite a bit lately. I don't know if he's training too hard. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe he's –
he's just the most unlucky running back in the world other than CMC.
Kadarius Toney is one. He's on at 17% of Yahoo. So that was yesterday. Yeah. But if you can get him, definitely go get him. He's gonna take that Sterling Shepard spot, Kenny Galladay spot, because neither one of them can stay healthy anyway. So I think they wasted money on Kenny Galladay anyway. Personally,
I'm not mad at it. Are you picking up Marlon Mack? News is that the Chiefs are interested, and they're taking a good look at him.
I would when this trade goes through.
Right, you're waiting for it to be official.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a couple of weeks before they pick him up. Who knows?
Yeah,
but honestly, it does. It don't matter really because they don't run the ball. So it don't even matter.
So who cares who the running back
Who cares?
is?
So Marlon Mack's good.
He's
He need to
good,
go to a
but
team
it's a
that run
completely
the
different
ball.
offense than what they ran with the Colts, and that's what has me like, it's not a bad pickup, especially if you had you need a fill in for Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a couple of
Yeah,
weeks. But I'm with you. It's like it's all right, but it's not a one. He's not on the team yet, and
yeah.
two, we'll have to see.
He need he need he need to go to a team like I said that needs running backs
Right.
that he can help out immediately. The 49ers, but yeah, we just gonna dig that out there. But the Chiefs need to work on defense. They need to pick up some secondary first of all. Stop picking up the weed smoking guy, and then you want to pick up Marlon Mack. No, you need to work
Find
on
some
defense.
defensive
But
players.
yeah, me personally, I don't think that's a big pickup personally because they're not gonna use them right. I mean, honestly, because they got their weapons. So no.
Other injury related pickup. Are you interested in Geno Smith? He looked
No.
fairly decent, I would say, for the short time he was in.
I mean, that's because he was the spark plug off the bench.
Right.
I mean, but once everybody started, we all know what Geno is. No offense.
Right.
Geno is Geno. I mean, can he do well with those two receivers? Maybe. It's possible. But, I mean, we just don't know. We'll tell this week when he get out there and actually he's the starting quarterback.
Right.
I feel like they should bring in Cam, though, personally.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening, but
I mean,
yeah. Well,
as the backup,
I guess my thoughts are Geno knows the system, see what he does, but
yeah.
Cam should be on somebody's hotline just in case. But I'm wondering, I don't even know if he's going to get a job the rest of it. I think he might be just sitting out until maybe something opens up. I got one last one for you. Last week, people were rushing to pick up Damian Williams, who had a really good game filling in for Monty, David Montgomery. How you feeling about Khalil Herbert? He got a lot more touches than I expected.
It's too many people in the backfield getting touches, man. Like actually Damian Williams getting the touches, but you mixing it in. You got to think about it. Once your top running back go down, like a David Montgomery goes down, you're not giving one player all of the carries. You're splitting the carries up between two or three guys to see which one get the hot hand. Basically, that's what teams are doing now. Especially the old saying, like for quarterback wise, if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback.
Right.
So if you got three running backs, you don't have one running back. So at the end of the day, you're going to split carries 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, just to kind of see who is going to be that one that kind of stands out the most. And that's what Chicago is doing right now. So personally, I'm not touching either one.
Right. I will also add that last week the Bears were playing the Raiders, and so that is a boost for any running back you've got going for you.
I guess you're really talking down on your Raiders tonight, man.
Yeah. I mean, every week I bring the truth, and I always say if there's a running back going against the Raiders, you pick them up and you run them because yet and still we cannot stop the run. And until that's true, fantasy-wise, I'm going against them. So let's see what it do.
Right.
NFL news?
Oh, you know what I want to talk about.
Well, let's just go straight to it because the news is really the topic of the night, and it's these coaches that are out of control right now.
Out of control.
You start.
Man.
You start. Let's go with it. Which coach do you want to go with? Yours, I'm sure? Or do you want to start with the big news?
I mean, the big news could take a while. My quarterback problem, my coach
problem
is I just got I got some things, man.
The floor is yours. Go with it.
Okay, so just for Justin, the question about do you hold on Trey Sherman, you drop Brandon Ayuk. I personally, I think he called a bad game on Sunday. And if I could tell y'all what I was doing in my house when I was watching this game, I was throwing stuff around because I was truly upset. First of all, you don't come out and run your quarterback 16 times and you attempted maybe 2 passes in the first half and you ran him. No, I'm sorry, you attempted 6 passes in the first half and you ran maybe, I think, 8 times, 9 times with your quarterback, I think your total running backs had a total of like 10 carries throughout the whole game. Trey Sherman had 1 carry, and you drafted him as a number 3 pick. I don't understand what the problem is with him. What can I say? How he gets these guys and they don't play well or they doing something wrong. He put them in the doghouse, and then it's an issue because you feel like, oh, they not learning what I need them to learn. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna stick them there. They're rookie players. Trey Lance, for one, need to be starting. He should have been starting from day one. What has Jimmy did to make you say, oh, we're gonna go with him, and I think he can get us to the Super Bowl? First of all, he didn't take us to the Super Bowl when we did go to the Super Bowl. If anybody knows anything about the 49ers, Raheem Mostert took us to the Super Bowl. The man threw 20 passes in 2 games in that Super Bowl run. So if you want to speak facts, let's speak facts at the end of the day. Shanahan played, and I think he tried to sabotage Trey Lance by running 16 times, and he ended up getting him hurt. And I think he going to have that excuse to go back to Jimmy Garoppolo to say, well, he didn't play well, so we're going to go back to Jimmy Garoppolo. He wanted to have that excuse in the bag. So because he didn't want him to play, if he would have played well and threw for 300 yards, he would have won the game and all this, it would have been this whole controversy of Trey Lance should have been starting from day one. He wanted to have that in the back of his bag to say, well, Trey didn't play well, he need to work on this. And I think that's a bunch of BS personally, because that's bad coaching. You don't want to go out there to sabotage your number 3 pick who you traded 2 first rounds and the 3rd round for. You traded the whole farm for. We don't have 2 first-round picks for the next 2 years or a 3rd-round pick for the next 3 years. So come on, man. Jimmy is making $26 million to throw for 4.7 yards per pass. That is complete horrible. This kid threw for 5.7 yards per play last week. He ran for 6.5 on the ground. Am I missing something here?
No, you are not missing a doggone thing, and I think MPX 606 agrees with you. So you listening to this rants on the coach? Yeah, there is some bad stuff happening. So hey, viewers, feel free to chime in with your rants. Here's the deal, and here's the point that you made is a good one. You put a big investment into Trey Lance to have him sit behind a so-so quarterback. You talked earlier about Brandon Ayuk, who's in the doghouse because he can't run block, which, okay.
Man, hold on.
and one more. And then, so you make me forget. Who's the other guy that, let's say I said Trey Lance, I said Brandon Ayuk. Oh, yeah, and Trey Sermon, the guy from this year, 3rd-round running back, and he can't hardly get the ball. Y'all are putting high draft picks into guys that aren't playing. So I'm with you.
I mean, think about this, man. Brandon Ayuk had 908 yards last year receiving, 67 receptions, right, and like 5 touchdowns. And you telling me you don't want to put him on the field because he can't block?
Yeah.
Do you need me to name receivers that don't? Diggs don't block, and Diggs is the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the entire game, bro. He won't block a lick. But you telling me that Brandon Ayuk, because he won't block,
right,
that you won't put him on the field? Hold up, man. This dude went and got Benjamin off the practice squad and ran him at the number 2 receiver over Brandon Ayuk. This guy's been on the practice squad all season. And you want to bring him in and talk about we need more speed on the field. Are you kidding me? Did you see the catch that Brandon Ayuk made and dipped around those 2 players? This is what you're getting from him. If you put him with Deebo Sanders,
right,
and George Kittle, you have a good receiving core and a great tight end. I don't understand what the problem is. Your whole doghouse don't even make sense, bro.
Yeah.
I think this is the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. You want to stick somebody, but you don't want to put Jimmy in the doghouse for throwing for 189 yards on 49 completion. Come on, dog. Like, seriously? And don't come with me with that he led a drive on that Green Bay game, because if anybody watches the game like I do, it was a 3rd and 10, and it was a pass interference on that 3rd and 10 that got us down the field 30 yards. If it wasn't for that, we would have lost the game.
Well, y'all did lose the game. But
well, what I'm saying, we would have punted the ball.
We would have lost it sooner, right?
We would have lost it sooner because he would have punted the ball on 4th and 10 because he didn't complete the pass.
Right.
It was called a pass interference if you watch the game. The interception, matter of fact, he got hurt against Green Bay. You didn't pull him out of the game against Green Bay when he got hurt. But all of a sudden, now you want to bring him back week 7 because he might be cleared. No. What it is,
right.
You're paying this guy $26 million. He is the highest paid guaranteed quarterback right now over Pat Mahomes. Matt Mahomes is making $45 million, but all of that's not guaranteed. But when you say guaranteed for 1 year, Jimmy Garoppolo is making $26.5 million to play like an average quarterback. And like I always tell Jay, I'm fine with Trey Lance making rookie mistakes. I'm not fine with Jimmy Garoppolo making rookie mistakes as an 8-year veteran.
Right. Well, in Jimmy G's defense, he's only played about 20 games of that 8-year career. So, but let me get in this question from Trilly Seb, and it relates to your 49ers. There's a 49er in this trade he got sent. He got sent a trade for Dalvin. He gets Dalvin Cook. I like it already. Mm-hmm. Chase Edmonds and Robert Woods. He gives up Mixon, Hunt, and Debo. I do it in a heartbeat. Just because you said Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. You get Dalvin Cook. You get Robert Woods, who's been balling.
Robert Woods balled this one game, but he's going to continue to ball the rest of the season. I think you're going to see him get the ball a lot more than you did the first few weeks. But for me, running backs are the premier thing. And I saw earlier a message Jasper Senior says that we were talking about running backs earlier. It says unless you're Dalvin Cook's backup. So Dalvin Cook, much respect. So I do that trade because Mixon, I'm never going to have a big amount of faith in Joe Mixon. So if I get Dalvin Cook over Joe Mixon, I'm already liking it. Now Kareem Hunt has been really productive this year, but he still is the second running back. And so if I exchange Chase Edmonds for Kareem Hunt, I'm not mad at that at all. And so the last one, you got Robert Woods for Debo. And me personally, I prefer Robert Woods over Debo, especially with the rant you just gave about the 49ers.
I mean, but see, the problem with that is, the thing is this. Last week was the first time that we threw over 20 yards since the season started. And the thing is, Debo is having a successful season because he's the underneath receiver.
Right.
So Jimmy can't throw over 15 yards.
Right.
Without calf injury or not. He can't throw over 15 yards because he can't do it. He's not that type of quarterback. So that's why Debo is getting all those underneath passes. And for people that keep saying that Debo touchdown, look, Debo against Detroit, Debo snatched it out of there from the cornerback and ran that touchdown there. The same thing with Green Bay, bro. I need people to stop saying Jimmy Garoppolo had something to do with those long touchdowns. He did. He threw a what?
I believe you guys have what's known as the Yak brothers. So what happens with that team is all those wide receivers get yards at Yak. If for those who don't know, yards at the catch, and so that's what they do. So
see, but I get that point. But what I'm saying is, they give credit to just imagine this.
Garoppolo's getting more credit than he needs to because they're the ones who's doing the work after they catch it. Right.
All right. Think about this. If we would have won that Green Bay game, right? We would have got down the field. He would have went down and scored that touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo outdueled
Aaron Rodgers.
That's would have been the headline.
Would have been.
It would have been. But if you really look at it, he really didn't. Because he had 189 yards in that game. And that pass interference helped you get down the field to get in the end zone. You ain't do much that game to even win that game. So I need you to stop him. And he hurts the running game because you can't run play-action plays with Jimmy Garoppolo when you know he's not going to run. It doesn't make any sense. That's called being dumb as a coach. You can't run RPOs when your quarterback doesn't even run. And when he does run, he gets hurt.
Right.
Come on, man. Stop, man.
Since we're talking about coaches behaving badly, and thanks again, Truly said for the question. So yes, do that trade. MPX 16-6 has some coaches he wants to rant about. Ron Rivera, and isn't Antonio Gibson one of your bold predictions?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, he says Antonio Gibson is a wide receiver who can route up any linebacker in the league. He literally only has 2 targets per game. In the last 4 games, literally averaged 12 yards per catch.
That's bad coaching.
I love me some Riverboat Ron, but there's so much disappointment. And it's about Antonio Gibson, because you and I were both big Antonio Gibson guys. Wasn't the word before the season started that it was going to be CMC type usage? Yep. It ain't been anything close to CMC usage in that offense right now. So I'm with you, MPX. That deserves to be ranted about. Clamped Easy has a question. Damian Williams or Darrell Henderson this week?
Darrell Henderson. I like Darrell Henderson.
I'm surprised you say that, because I liked Darrell Henderson last year, and I'm pretty sure you told me no.
Yeah, I did, but he's been playing well this year. I gotta give him credit.
But with Cam Akers out the way, there's more to love about Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's my thing. I think Damian Williams is in a good situation, but like we saw last week, Khalil Herbert's getting well, at least from that one game, he's getting a lot of touches too. Darrell Henderson, you have to somewhat worry about Sony Michel, and how much that situation might affect him. But here's my thing. If I'm going to go with a guy getting running back numbers, because Justin Fields is that threat at sniping yards, I'm also going to agree with you and go Darrell Henderson on that one this week.
Yeah, because Matthew Stafford ain't sniping yards.
No. Yeah. Matthew Stafford is never going to be accused of snatching rushing yards. So, MPX 16-6 has another comment. And thanks for the question. I lost it because my thing just moved. How you see someone get a 75-yard touchdown receiving and think, nah, that ain't it. Need to try something else. To be honest, I think CMC usage was Fitz. Yeah, and that's another comment. Thanks for bringing that up. I was going to bring up, without Fitz there, Heineke. Hey, someone else says Heineke sucks. You know what, MPX? I'm going to give you a star for that one. Yes, because I've been saying Heineke sucks ever since he got the job, unlike certain people over here that think Heineke is somehow good. So, yeah, I think that might have a lot to do with it, that they can't do as much. But for me, I think that's a poor excuse to use, because, quite frankly, Antonio Gibson, we saw last year, has a whole lot of time. And who were his quarterbacks? Alex Smith, bless his heart and his legs. Dwayne Haskins was in there. Kyle Allen, they had terrible quarterbacks, and Antonio Gibson still did work. So I don't understand at all why he's not getting the love he should get. So I'm with you. Good point. Keith Stewart, special trade request.
Oh gosh.
A bowler clam chowder suit for your Red Sox hat. Put it back on. That's right. Look, between you and Justin with y'all Yankees love, and Nita too if you still out there, I don't care, because we're going to the ALCS. And quite frankly, hold up. This isn't good enough for me. I'm sorry. I can't do it like this. Let me tell y'all something about these Boston Red Sox. I'm about to put on the baseball talk again, buddy, because these Red Sox are for real. I cannot wait for Friday to see what they end up doing against those cheaters in Houston, because, hey, you better believe it. Red Sox. That's all I got to say. I'm going to go back to football.
not involved in this one.
I'm gonna keep my hat on. I do like clam chowder though, but you can't get the hat. All right, let me get back to business again. He said it's not funny with the Red Sox winning. Justin, let's see here. The feeling they were going to win, though, I did not. I'm not even going to lie to you. And I think I talked about it the last week was up there. I was just glad we beat the Yankees because hate the Yankees. But I did not expect them to beat Tampa Bay. So I am ecstatic. Because we struggled at the end of this season. We couldn't beat the Yankees. We couldn't even beat the doggone Orioles. So I was like, well, Tampa Bay's got us. But, yeah. ALCS. Let me get back. I think the Yankees keep the coach, but I don't want them to. Stafford will be a QB3 this week. Everyone's like this. Oh yeah, thank you, Justin. Everybody hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. We love to have the views. Thanks for the comments. He says Heineke MPX again says Heineke's ain't that bad. He's not that bad for this particular team, but he's not a good quarterback. He's a backup. He's a good backup, but he's a backup. Yeah. He just needs to understand he got weapons on the team, and he has second and second, check down, and throws incompletion that's going to lead to third and long. Just throw the yeah. I mean, throw it to Antonio. Use the weapons you've got. He's a backup. So let me see what else we got. Regular life, and I'm going to just go on.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, and Justin, no, I'm not taking. You know what? I was gonna take off the hat because it's getting hot underneath these lights, but I'm gonna leave it on a little bit more. And neither you will get banned again if you keep talking about.
She banning either. You ban her every week. You've been banning her for the last 2 weeks, man. Lord.
Hey, I ban anybody that talks too much stuff.
I got a breeze for you to help you with the hat.
Thank you, producer. See, that's why we keep the producer here.
Oh, God.
All right, I think I got through all the questions, but yeah, I'm gonna still take that off. But y'all better be ready for it. Y'all better hope they don't end up winning the World Series, because I promise you, I'm going to be intolerable the rest of this football season. So,
yes, he will.
Yeah,
we don't need that around here. Lord have mercy.
All right, coach is behaving badly. Let's go ahead before it gets too late and jump to the worst thing in the news this week.
The Raiders?
Let's talk about Jon Gruden. I've been trying to avoid it for the whole show.
Yeah.
I imagine everybody out there knows the story behind this, but I'll still say it. A long time ago, Jon Gruden was the coach for the Raiders. Hold up. I need the solo camera. A long time ago, Jon Gruden was a good coach for the Raiders. He left us. He went to Tampa Bay, beat us in the Super Bowl. And for some reason, the Davis family still was enamored with him. And they said, let's bring Jon Gruden back. So many years after he's coached. And for those that know me well enough, I was never a big fan of them bringing back Jon Gruden. My whole thing is you can't bring back your past. Once it's in the past, it's gone. They tried to bring back Art Shell. How did that work out? Terribly. They paid Jon Gruden $100 million. Gave him 10 freaking years, based off the past, trying to relive those glory days. Never for once considering the fact that when that happened, they had Rich Gannon, they had Tim Brown, they had Jerry Rice even come in to join that team. That team was good. Did I mention Charles Woodson? Because Charles Woodson was there, Hall of Famer, by the way. They brought back Jon Gruden, and he's been mediocre at best. He's been sometimes good, sometimes bad. The Raiders get hot at the beginning of a season, then they'll lose the rest of the games. So Jon Gruden is who Jon Gruden is. But football isn't why Jon Gruden's no longer the coach. Apparently 10, 11 years ago, he was exchanging emails with Bruce Allen of the Washington football team. And good Lord, all the stuff that's in that those emails. We're talking about calling DeMar Smith has big lips like Michelin tires. He talked about Michael Sam being a queer, and the NFL shouldn't be forcing queers into the NFL. He talked about women referees and saying how women referees are no good for the game. Who else did he insult? Because he insulted just about everybody. He insulted Roger Goodell. So everything you could imagine that's horrible, John Gruden did in these emails. And so now he had to apologize. And what I find interesting is the day after the game, they brought it up, and he was like, I don't want to address it anymore. And now he's gone. He had a horrible response to this. If all this stuff happened and everybody knows it happened, he should at least been a little bit more contrite. But he said, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. I've already addressed it, and I'm not going to be talking about it anymore. And then the floodgates open with all these other emails that we didn't know about beforehand. And so Mark Davis brought him in, and Mark Davis loves this guy. Oh, did I mention that in all these emails, he also was receiving like topless photos from the Washington football team cheerleaders? All this stuff. And here's my deal, because I don't want to take the whole show to say how horrible John Gruden is.
No, take your time. I had mine, you got yours.
Amongst all this stuff that's been going on, fire him not only because he's only a so-so coach and they really shouldn't have brought him back in, but fire him because what kind of idiot puts all that kind of stuff in their work email? I understand he wasn't working for the Raiders at the time, but he was working for ESPN. And what kind of idiot is Bruce Allen, who's sending this stuff back and forth? So Bruce Allen not only sunk his team, he sunk the Raiders. And the rest of the year, I'm just pissed because, quite frankly, I don't even know what's going to happen. So I wish them well. I'm going to still be a fan. But John Gruden, you suck, and I'm glad you're gone. There we go.
Okay. The problem I have with this, right, is when these emails were being put out, he was working at ESPN as a Monday Night Football commentator. And he had that job for another, 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. Why
he didn't get fired from there is a really big question, because I'm assuming they knew about this if it was a work email. They had to know about this. And another thing, he didn't get fired. He resigned.
Yeah, he resigned, but he resigned.
Mark Davis wasn't gonna fire him.
No, he was gonna. He resigned with quotation marks. He said he didn't want to be a distraction. Blah 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 blah. There was no way he was gonna. If it was only the DeMaurice Smith issue, I think he might have been able to hold on to his job. But you can't. The Raiders made a big deal about, okay, we signed we have the first openly gay player in the NFL, actual player, not just a guy who got drafted, but the actual player he's on our team. But then these emails come about what you said in your pad. Now, it's a long time ago, but those two things can't exist together. There was no possible way he was going to survive this set of things. Then when you throw in the misogynistic stuff that he said about the female referees, because the NFL they've made a big deal about saying Black Lives Matter now after the Colin Kaepernick thing, and he just spat in the face of all that with these emails. They've made a big deal about the female referees and how we're bringing equality to the league, blah 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 blah. He's saying we don't need women referees. We've made a big deal about, like I said, Nassib with the Raiders, and then he's downing the homosexual woman. There's so many. He had a trilogy of scandals, and it's like there was no way he's gonna the Raiders were gonna allow him to stay on the team and be that kind of distraction. Plus, like I said before, the biggest thing, he's only a so-so coach to begin with.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, though, Mark Davis had to know about this. The thing about the NFL, nothing is a secret in the NFL. That's big business, first of all.
Right.
That's a big company. Nothing goes unnoticed in the NFL when it comes to stuff like this. Like, they know when you're doing something wrong. The question is, do they want to put it out? And like Anita said, at the end of the day, it's not about what he said about
DeMaurice Smith.
It's not about Smith. It's more about the the gay community. That's what it comes down to.
I think it's a combination of all three things, though.
But I think it's more about that, because if that other stuff would have never came out, it would have been. I'm telling you, he would have still had a job.
Like I said, if it was just the DeMaurice Smith issue, I 100% agree. But you can't have all those other things mounted on top of it, right?
Yeah, if that stuff would have never came out, he would have been coaching this Sunday. If that stuff, because he made it nonchalant where I'm gonna resign because I don't want to be a distraction in the locker room. Mark Davis came out yesterday and said they asked him about it. He was like, "Don't ask me, talk to the NFL. They got all the reports."
Right.
So it sounded like to me he wanted to keep him as a coach, even though
Mark Davis loves John Gruden and he considers him a son type thing. Okay, whatever. So yeah, he could have possibly survived if it wasn't for this thing. There's so many, and the Players Association is now saying, hey, we want all these emails, because the Washington football team is about to bring down the whole NFL, because I guarantee you this is not just the Raiders that they're going to find stuff from. When all this stuff hits the fan, as they say, it's going to be ugly. Yeah.
And the thing is, the whole thing with the Redskins, with the Washington football team,
right?
Dan Snyder typically lost control of day-to-day working at his own football team.
Right.
They hand it over to his wife.
Right.
And don't be surprised once all this stuff really comes out, they make him sell the team.
I would not be shocked at all.
Because that's the next step. That should be the next step anyway. He should sell the team or give his wife full control, which at the end of the day, in the same household,
I think it's going to end up leaving the Snyder family altogether.
And it needs to be, because that's not. 75% of the players in the NFL are black.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest right now. If all 75% say, you know what, we're going to up and leave and start a new league, that league is doomed. They're doomed because they don't have the talent to cover up the 75% of black players in the NFL.
Right.
And that's the problem. Those 650,000 emails coming from Washington are going to doom Washington, is going to doom the Raiders, and don't be surprised if some more stuff come out about Mark Davis. Let this slide underneath the rug. I'm just saying, it's crazy.
The Washington football team needs to be put out. But let's hit a football. I think MPX 1606 had another comment about, and this is going back to the coaching of Ron Rivera. The fact that J.D. McKissick has 8 red zone carries, 1 yard per carry, 1 touchdown. Gibson has 5. I thought J.D. McKissick was going to be a big part of it. We saw him do his work, but the story was that his role was going to diminish some, and he's going to be strictly maybe third down. And even that was kind of iffy, because Antonio Gibson could be the third down. He's a 3 down guy, but
yeah.
I don't know what I'm with you. I don't know what's going on in some of these coaches' head. Going back to your guy Kyle Shanahan and how he's just bombing this whole thing with Trey Lance. It's very similar. And I sent you this article earlier, John Hofling from Deadspin, and talked about how, not saying Kyle Shanahan is as bad a coach as Matt Nagy, but it's the exact same situation. You got this guy coming in, you put in your high draft pick for him, and have absolutely no logical plan on how to use these guys. Because that first week Justin Fields came in, it was terrible with Matt Nagy doing the play calling, and it was a disaster. And he gave up that play calling the very next week, and wow, Justin Fields got better. And hey, the Bears have won their last 2 games. Kyle Shanahan ain't doing that with the 49ers, at all.
But the thing is, right, Kyle Shanahan just re-signed for 6 years.
Right.
They're not going to fire him. So that's out of the question. Second part is, if I was the 49ers and I knew – so the thing is, they called Jimmy the day of draft and said, look, we're going to move up to the 3rd spot, right, and we're going to draft a quarterback. We're letting you know this. It is what it is. You got to deal with it. But the problem with Kyle Shanahan messed up is you told this man on the phone,
right,
that no rookie can come in here and beat you out at quarterback. So it's like you're making a promise to him that you can't lose your job unless you're hurt.
Right.
That's the only way you're losing your job. You can go out there and throw 5 interceptions, 2 games in a row. You're still going to keep your job because I promised you that you were going to be the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. You should not do that, knowing that you gave up what you gave up to get this guy. Now, you know this, but my thing is this. You playing Jimmy $26.5 million this year. What you could have did was you could have cut Jimmy Garoppolo and saved $25 million and could have got 2 cornerbacks that we truly need instead of wasting money on a guy that's not, that's not gonna get you to a Super Bowl. You keep living on that 2019 high of when we went to the Super Bowl. Right. This is not the same team, first of all. And I keep stressing this, but he wasn't the reason why we got there.
The running game and the defense are the reason the 49ers got to that Super Bowl.
Thank you.
And that is it. That is it.
I mean, if anybody don't believe me, just go back and watch that Green Bay game from 2019 in the playoffs. Right. Just go back and watch that Minnesota game in 2019 from the playoffs where he threw an interception and they stopped throwing the ball. We ran the ball 35 times for 200 yards. And that was Raheem Mostert. So it's not Jimmy Garoppolo. If you knew, and that's the thing, you're causing a distraction in the locker room. Right. You're dividing the locker room because half the team want Garoppolo and half the team want Trey Lance. And the younger guys want Trey Lance and the older guys want Garoppolo.
Right.
So what you should do is trade him, which he has no trade value at this point. You should trade him before the deadline is up to clear the locker room so you can go forward with the season instead of you sitting there allowing this to continue to go on, because the moment you bring Trey Lance in at the 5-yard line to run a quarterback sneak to go in for a touchdown, this guy goes on the radio and says that he feels a certain way he was taken out of the game. What guy goes on the radio the next day on a podcast and says, I felt some sort of way about me being taken out of the game for Trey Lance? You know what? But I ain't a coach, though. At that point, you would have been reprimanded right there. You don't go on a podcast and talk about what's going on in this locker room.
Right.
So my thing is, does he got naked pictures of you or something, Cal? you need to let me know, bro. I might can help you.
I think saying. What it really is, and I feel for those that drafted, unless it was a dynasty league, because dynasty leagues, Trey Lance is going to be the future. If you're in redraft, I think Trey Lance might be a disappointment for you this year, because unless we see Garoppolo get hurt again, and like seriously hurt, the Trey Lance, I'm not 100% convinced that Trey Lance era is gonna really start for your fantasy football teams, at least this year. I don't think he really trusts Trey Lance, and at least not to throw the ball, which is odd to me, because while Trey Lance is a dual threat quarterback, his arm is what impressed people the most. And you got a lot of, we were talking earlier on the show about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's first 2 years, he was a very inaccurate quarterback, but they stuck with him. They gave him a chance to learn, and they are sure enough reaping the benefits. And hey, those that drafted Josh Allen are reaping some benefits on their fantasy football squads. But you got to give Trey Lance that opportunity to make his mistakes, like you said before. He's going to make rookie mistakes, but that's how you learn in the NFL.
I mean, it's like, I want to say the whole Trey Lance, well, not Trey Lance, but Justin Fields being the starter. I think that came down from management. I think that came down from the owner, because the owner wanted Justin Fields. So that came down, and they made him put Justin Fields in the game. Because I find it weird. He started that one game because Dalton was hurt. Right. And then they came back the next week and said that Fields would be the starter the remainder of the year. He's the guy now. See, you're not getting that in San Francisco because our owner trusts Shanahan. They trust John Lynch. They gave them the keys to the car to say, y'all make these decisions. Right. But what need to be said, somebody need to tell Shanahan, look, this is not working. And the reason that we don't have our starting tight end right now is because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
because Jimmy Garoppolo got him hurt once again on a pass that was too far that he couldn't reach, that he kind of stretched out to get, and he hurt his calf. This is the second year in a row that this has happened.
Here's the bad part about this. I have a bold prediction out there about tight ends getting 1,000 yards. And doggone it, George Kittle getting hurt again. He was one of the tight ends I was depending on to get my 4 tight ends. Like I said, Travis Kelce is the only guy I can depend on because Travis Kelce never lets me down.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
People are on this thing that Kittle gets hurt every year. But if you go back and really look at the span of his career and how many games he's played per year, he does not get hurt. It's just last year, if you go back and watch that Arizona game against, I think it was Arizona. We played Arizona last year. Kittle's got hurt on that play by Jimmy, throwing a pass that was errant, that was all around the place, and he got hurt again. Same thing this year. He threw a pass and got him hurt again. Right. That goes down on Jimmy Garoppolo. Nobody wants to say that, but that's the honest truth. This guy cannot throw, bro. Like he done got Debo killed, not once, but almost twice this year. He done got Brandon Ayuk, when he did throw on the ball, almost killed. I mean, like, are you kidding me right here? But you want to put this guy in the game?
Right.
Stop it, bro. We would have lost by like 35 against Arizona last week if it wasn't for Trey Lance.
Right. Well, let's go back to our coaches and relate it to fantasy football. Which one of these coaches do you think can get it right? Obviously, John Gruden's not because he's gone. He's out the door. We didn't talk Urban Meyer, but you already know we talked Urban Meyer enough last week. But he seems to be he got it right with James Robinson at the very least. We'll see what happens with for your fantasy squads like Laviska Shenault. Will Trevor Lawrence be what we want? We talked about Matt Nagy, and he's a disaster. Your guy, Kyle Shanahan, Ron Rivera, who was brought up. Which one of these coaches do you think has the best chance of getting it right and helping out our fantasy squads?
I'm going to say 2 coaches.
Okay.
Matt Nagy just not going to get it right, period. He's not. I mean, he did it right by handing over the play calling.
That was the best decision he did this whole season. Right.
I mean, he did it right by handing that over.
Right.
But I still don't think – I think he's gone at the end of the year, personally. Okay. That's just me. Because his job is not safe. And he knew that coming in that his job wasn't safe.
Right.
Ron Rivera's not going anywhere. So, I mean, honestly, they're a quarterback away, honestly. Yeah. And honestly, I think they should go after Deshaun Watson.
That could be interesting.
I feel like Deshaun Watson would fit great with that team and what he's trying to run because he did have a Cam Newton on his team in Carolina, but Cam Newton was more of a runner than a passer. But he can kind of still do the same thing that Cam did, but he's more of a better passer than a Cam Newton. So I think Deshaun Watson in a Redskins uniform, I'm sorry, why I keep saying that, in a Washington football uniform would be great, honestly. So I think that is probably where, but I think Ron Rivera's not going anywhere. Just like Kyle Shanahan.
I think Ron Rivera is, though I'm with MPX 606 on the Antonio Gibson usage. I think he survives the year and he'll be okay, especially like you said, once they get the quarterback there. Because if Tyler Heineke's your starting quarterback, that's going to
get in trouble.
You're gonna have a lot of leeway because he's a backup. Yeah.
I mean, so I think he's safe. Urban Myers, I think Urban Myers is just going to quit regardless.
Right.
But if not mid-season, I think about like late in the season because he's not prepared. It's two things. It's 2 factors here: the USC job and the Florida State job. Those are 2 jobs that he could possibly take in college. He's not an NFL coach. He's like Steve Spurrier. He's like Alabama's coach.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban quit. So he's like those. He's like those coaches. They stayed 1 season. I think Steve Spurrier, he lasted a preseason, and I think he quit.
Right.
Nick Saban lasted 6 games. He quit. So I think those guys, I think he's going to – Shanahan, because he has a 6-year deal,
right,
and Garoppolo tends to get hurt. And I think the fans are calling for Trey Lance.
Right.
And the thing is this, I think is in 2 weeks when we get off back, we're playing at home against the Colts. I think playing at home, and if Jimmy Garoppolo go out there and starts playing bad, and they already want him benched anyway, I think the fans are they're gonna erupt. They're gonna boo him till he want to leave the field. So I think Shanahan can get it right. I just think he needs to come to his senses. So I think Ron Rivera and Shanahan can fix those problems. Nagy, no, it's a lost cause for Nagy, and the Jags coach, I think he's going to be gone before the year's over with. That's my take on it, though.
Of all the coaches we discussed, I'm with you. I think Shanahan won, though I think he gets too much credit. I think he's in the best of situations, and like you said, Garoppolo's gonna be gone. So that's the situation I think is gonna work itself out. And so we'll get to see whether he's really like the quarterback whisperer. He gets a lot of credit for like Matt Ryan's success, but I'm like, Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. So okay, I can coach Matt Ryan and he'll get 4,000 yards because he's
he
Matt
gets
Ryan
that on a regular.
So we'll see what happens when Trey Lance has the door. He ain't been a quarterback whisperer for Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's because Jimmy Garoppolo is very limited in what he can do.
Yes.
I like Ron Rivera because we've seen him be successful in other leagues, and I just like to say Riverboat Ron. But I do hope he can remain true to his word and get. I think they're highly underusing Antonio Gibson, but I think the bigger thing that surprised me about that Washington football team right now is that defense, and I have no idea how they got so bad so fast. But yeah, because the other coaches we talked about, Nagy's not gonna make it. I was saying he should get fired last year, and Urban Meyer, I'm with you. Urban Meyer is just buying time until he can get himself to one of those premier college jobs. So yeah.
I mean, I don't see any other coaches that should be on the hot seat. That you're not given an opportunity to. I mean, I think it's Joe Judge in New York. He might be one. I mean, but it's not his fault. They just can't stay healthy.
They're terrible, and I feel the same way about Philadelphia. I don't know whether he's a problem or not, but I think those are the NFC East is just full of bad teams. It's a sad world when the Cowboys are the best team, and it's just like after 4 weeks, it's like okay, NFC East is over. A question from Orlena Lewis, my mom, y'all. Explain how the Colts let that game get away in the last quarter. I was expecting the Ravens to run away with that game, and I felt myself rooting hard for the Colts, and then they just let me. I was like, you know what? I wasted my time because they just disappeared like down the stretch. It's one of those things. I hate it when a defense is aggressive and they're containing a team the whole game, and then at the end they soften up just to try to kill the clock. And it's like, you need to keep doing what you were doing. There's no way. And I'm proud of Lamar for the game he had. I'm glad he had that 400 yards because some of us don't think he's a quarterback, and
I told you, man. I apologized earlier.
You apologized earlier. I'm bringing up old stuff.
I apologize for the second week, man. For the second week, I apologize.
2 weeks in a row. You're doing all right. But
honestly, I don't think it was the last quarter. I think it was
before that. Yeah.
It was before that because they had a 22-3 lead going into halftime.
Yeah,
and that should have been enough. Probably another touchdown or two. That would have been enough for them to win the game. I think they let up because they knew they was up. I mean, they tried to play it safe, and that's what's wrong with teams. They tell you not to, put your neck on their throat, but sometimes you got to.
Hey, that's one thing I love about college. They don't let up no matter what. So it's like, I got impressed the poster. So they keep their foot on the gas the entire game. NFL, way too often, they take their foot off, and that's when you lose. Hey, didn't the 49ers lose the Super Bowl that way? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
So, we did. In fact, Kyle Shanahan also lost with the Falcons for that. But,
I mean,
it happens.
We can say Kyle Shanahan tried to get Jimmy Garoppolo the Super Bowl MVP that year, too. Yeah. And you see how that happened. He
there you go.
Couldn't complete a pass, but okay.
But hey, that's all I got.
That's all I got. We appreciate all y'all questions. It's been a good night. I got a lot of stuff off my chest. I've been holding this since Sunday.
You got the vet.
Jay, but I haven't talked to Jay though. But I've been holding this in since Sunday, and I need to get this out. But I appreciate y'all for listening. I do. This is therapy for me.
Yeah, it's been great. Y'all have a good one, and be sure to tune in this weekend for the 40-second play clock. We're gonna go through all the games and tell you the players you need, and then on Friday night, make sure you're watching the ALCS and see those Red Sox take on Houston Astros, because
I won't be watching, but okay. Yeah. I won't be watching. But yeah, definitely. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know where to find us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, like, subscribe. If you know anybody, tell them like, subscribe. We're trying to get this thing up, man. We're trying to get it up to 100. Facebook, Instagram, you know how to find us. All right. We love y'all. Appreciate it. And we'll see you.
Peace out. Go Sox.
49ers all the way.